Friday prayers at Istanbul's Süleymaniye Mosque. This house of worship dates from the Ottoman Empire and is almost 500 years old. The men here say the congregation has always been separated along gender lines. Men pray in the main room, women in a separate corner. And if the men have their way, that separation will remain. But the women aren't happy about it.
The mosque should be totally open to us. Men and women can pray together.
Most mosques don't have facilities for women at all. There's not even a place for us to do the ritual washing.
Theologian Kadriye Afci says things must change. Mosques should not be mainly the reserve of men. She's the deputy mufti of Istanbul, a kind of clerical superintendent in the state religion agency. She says the women can remain separate, but should not be hidden.
This room divider is too high. It should be lowered to chest level. And then we want to expand the space for women to hear in the main room. That will make it much nicer.
There is a revolution afoot in Turkey's mosques. The men are not happy.
If a woman is praying in front of you, you can't concentrate.
Here the women pray away from the men. They're almost invisible. That's how it's always been, and it should stay that way.
The women's toilets are dirty, their prayer corners full of clutter. Most of Istanbul's 3,000 mosques put off a lot of female visitors. It seems women are supposed to do their praying at home. So Kadriye Afci has been going to conferences to try to convince her mainly male colleagues that women should have more access to mosques. They're difficult to persuade. But the theologian does have the government's support. She hopes Turkey can be a role model for the position of women in the Islamic world.
In our religion, men and women are equal in houses of prayer. The separation of men and women in mosques is a tradition, but it has nothing to do with the Quran. We're trying to explain that to both imams and women.
Kadriye Afci is one of the few women to hold such a high-ranking position. Most of the men at the Istanbul Religious Authority work for her. It's only recently that women have been deputy muftis in Turkey. Are female prayer leaders in mosques the next step?
It's normal today to have women members of parliament and government ministers. There's no stopping progress. There should be no taboos, and there isn't really any basis in our religion for bans like that.
But Afci has to keep confronting the reality of things. The small mosque near her office is said to be misogynistic. She asks the imam to show her the women's prayer room, and she's shocked.
Look how small this is here. Get this on tape. And this is supposed to be a prayer room for women. It's unusable.
Afci says women don't belong in some shed in a courtyard, rather in the mosque itself. She doesn't hold back when talking to the imam.
You have a separate space here. The women can go here.
In my opinion, you shouldn't challenge traditions. Women should pray at home. Even with my supervisor standing right here, I have to say what I think.
During the time of the Prophet, women and men went to the mosque together, the men in front, the women in back. And we want to reintroduce that original state. Don't interrupt me, we'll talk later.
Things may get a bit uncomfortable for Turkish men. Kadriye Afci is determined to reclaim women's place to pray. Her goal is to make Istanbul's mosques the most women-friendly in the world by next spring.